I want to share with you my strategy and my mindset and the way I look at investing and investing in altcoins specifically. Those are coins outside of Bitcoin. And I want to share with you the way I think about it. So that way you can make your own decisions about what you want to invest in and why. And you can come up with your own principles. And I think this is really important in investing in cryptocurrency, that you're not just following trends or you're listening to one specific person. You don't really know why you're investing it or why it's better than another project or why it's going to go up in the future. And that way, when the market has volatility, when projects come down, you don't have to be scared and sell. Big mistake. Do not buy high. Market comes down, your project comes down, and you sell because you're scared. That is a huge beginner mistake. And everyone's done it. I've done it, but I definitely don't do it anymore. And now when the market comes down, when projects I bought into come down, I'm excited because I know what I'm buying and I believe in what I'm buying and I believe that they're going to add value and they're going to do something in the future and grow. I'm a long-term investor. I'm not looking for quick money. Don't look for quick money, quick returns. I'm looking to grow my wealth over time, okay? 5, 7, 10 years. This is my strategy. Your strategy might be different, might be 2 years. But the longer you give yourself, the less risk it's going to be because over time, this market is just going to keep growing. It's just going to keep expanding. So I believe in the technology, okay? I'm looking for projects that I believe have better technology but are valued less, either because they're not known as much. Normally that's what it is. They're just newer and they're not as known, but the technology is better and projects, money, ecosystem, all of those are going to flow to a project with better technology, something that's faster, that's cheaper, that's more consumer friendly, or that fills a demand in a market. So when I bought into Solana at a $5 billion market cap, and I saw Ethereum was worth $500 billion and Solana was doing more transactions per second, it had a growing ecosystem. It didn't have the same number of projects built on it at the time, but I saw that it was going up. And also when I used Ethereum, I was trading with some NFTs, I was using Ethereum and it was insanely expensive, insanely difficult. And it's not that I'm saying sell your Ethereum or don't buy Ethereum. I'm just saying that for me right now at that current time, the user experience was bad and I felt like there must be something better. And I found some other projects that I felt like were newer tech, they were quicker, and they had a growing ecosystem. And then Solana went from $20 to $250, right? Those were some awesome gains, okay? It's something I saw in Avalanche as well. I wasn't super early in Avalanche, bought into Avalanche at about 40. But anyway, so a growing ecosystem, you can try and look at the number of projects that are built on it, see what projects are being built on it. You can go to their website and it'll show you the ecosystem. Also, I like to look at who's investing in this project. So I've invested in quite a few projects that A through 16Z has invested in, which is Andreessen Horowitz, which is one of the top venture capital companies in the world. And they're investing tens to hundreds of millions of dollars in these projects. So I look at them and I say, okay, at least I know there are some really smart, really savvy investors investing in this project. Solana was one of those. Arweave, I believe, was one of those. But look at the company, look at the VCs and the other institutional investors who are getting into a project. For really small market cap, you probably won't see that, and it's going to be some more risk and such and such. But when you're getting in these mid caps, usually they're going to have institutional investment, and that's going to give you a better idea. There's another thing called TVL, which is the total value locked. You can go to a website called DeFi Llama, and you can look at how much currency is locked on the platform in comparison to how much the entire currency is worth, the market cap. Okay, so this is getting a little bit technical for beginners, but you want a lower ratio. The higher that ratio is, the higher that percentage is, you can almost compare it to profits and earnings to market cap. This isn't always a deciding factor, but when I bought into Terra and I bought into Avalanche, they had a really low TVL percentage. So I like that. But also they had a growing ecosystem and this thing, they just made sense to me. So I did it. I bought and I hold. Okay? Don't buy, or let me say this. When something's at its all-time high, it's a more risky investment, okay? When it's green and it's skyrocketing, I know you want to get in, everyone wants to get in, you don't want to miss out, but that's a big mistake, okay? Be patient. There are a lot of projects out there. There are continually going to be new projects that go to the moon, and you want to get in either before, if you're really, really lucky, or where I've had a lot of success is getting in after the first skyrocket, and then it tanks about 50 to 70%, and then I buy, okay? So, and even I bought into Cadena at about 20 and it came back down to 10. I bought more. I bought Polkadot at like 25. It came down to 10. I doubled down, right? And that's where I made a lot of gains there because I believed in what I was buying. And I knew that even though the price was coming down and people were fear selling because of emotions, that I believed in what I was buying and I'm long-term. So I wasn't afraid. I was excited. I bought more. Okay. So these are just some of the strategies and some of the mindset that I use when picking my coins. And this way, I want to be able to give you some more confidence. So when you see something that makes sense to you, you start to trust yourself. Now, one of the big things about investing is to just do it, to start investing, to put a little bit in. Don't put in more than you can afford to lose. Don't put in money that you need right away. But when you start putting some money in and you start seeing the trends of the market and how these things work, or you start getting right a couple of times, you start trusting your instincts more, right? And you start trusting your own principles. So you don't have to listen to some YouTuber telling you to buy this or to buy that, and then it starts to tank and you don't know what's going on, and then you want to sell and all this. It's just an emotional roller coaster, all right? If you're dollar cost averaging, meaning you're putting in small amounts over time, which is what most of us retail investors are doing, because we're not just sitting on $1 million we're going to put into the market. When the market corrects and these things come down, it's a little gift. I like it. That's where I crush it, is when the market comes down and I buy, because I believe in the technology I'm buying, right? So if you look at the cryptocurrency space, there's about, I think they average 300 million total users. 18,000 businesses are accepting cryptocurrencies. What is the cryptocurrency market going to be worth when there's 1 billion people using cryptocurrency, or when there's 2 billion people using cryptocurrency, or when there's 100 million businesses accepting cryptocurrency, right? So if you're looking at the long-term trends of these things, you can be very bullish and very confident that these things are going to continue to go up. And there's a lot of room for these other altcoins to make gains on Bitcoin, because Bitcoin dominance just continues to go down, right? And money's getting smarter. The investors are learning more of what they're buying. And there's a lot of people out there that are buying stuff and they have no idea what they're buying or why they're buying it. And that's why when you can do a little bit of research and you can look into these projects and you can see why there's value, like why I'm investing in Cadena, because can execute 450,000 transactions per second. When I bought into Solana, it was executing 50,000 transactions per second. Ethereum was executing 16. Okay. When I moved Solana, the price was super, super cheap. So I'm thinking, okay, you start scaling this, you start looking this our company is going to want to have cheaper transactions, or do they want to have more expensive transactions when they're building on a platform? So it's a no-brainer, right? And what else was I going to say? Solana. Oh, also, what I really like to do, this really can give you a lot of confidence and start giving you a better understanding of what's going on, is use these cryptocurrencies a little bit. Buy them, move them from wallet to wallet, move them out of exchanges, maybe even buy some NFTs. Don't go and blow a bunch of money on NFTs. But when I started using the Ethereum network, that's when I started seeing that I thought there were flaws in this thing. All right, it's older tech and whatever. I'll get into my whole Ethereum spiel and all that later on. But I think that there are a lot of us who are trading, investing, and having these coins, but we're not actually using them on the chain. And we start using them on the chain, and you can see the fees and you can see which ones move quickly. Like when I moved Avalanche into the wallet and it transferred immediately, I was like, whoa, wait a second. This is good, right? This is going to mean something later on, where other projects, you move a cryptocurrency and it takes 10 minutes to move it. And you go, okay, this isn't going to work. People don't want their money. Maybe if you're moving really large amounts of money, but you buy something or you send money to a friend, you don't want to wait 30 minutes to get your money, all right? You want to get it right away. So when I saw that light bulb went off, all right? So I think that something that's really important is to go out there and just, get a little bit in there, play around with it, mess around. Don't try to hit a home run right away. Don't put your whole life savings into it. But, get in there and make a little money, because those who are sitting on the sidelines are going to miss out. And those who are aping in and hodling, we've been crushing it. We'll continue to crush it. And I'm very excited. I love the game. It's super fun. All right. Thanks for tuning in.